about where does God live? So it's a very interesting topic, but before we go over there, we'll be discussing the last class that we left about the tapasyas, 3 different tapasyas, kaik, vachik, manasik. Let us begin with this stotra. Tabu kathamritam tapta jivanam kavi piriritam kalmashapaham sravanamangalam srimadatam bhubi grinanti e bhurida janaha. In our last class, we read and discussed about the proof of self. One gentleman was asking Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, what is the proof that the self is separated from the body? Why this question? Because self is consciousness, body is inert. How these two can come together? But our life is showing that it is together. That consciousness and also the unconsciousness, they're living together. So that gentleman, he was asking, he was an actor, and he was asking, so where is the proof? Are they separate or the same? Because when we say that we die, our body is burnt, body gets separated from the self. So he was asking, is it really true or it is just one? Body and the self, and when he died, both are dead. So one birth only. We are born, we live, we die, complete. But the Hindus and the Buddhists, they say no, it is continuing. So why? That he was asking. And then in reply to the another question, that Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, you have to believe in the words of the Guru or the scripture. Why? Otherwise there is no other option. You have to feel yourself. You have to understand yourself. This is subjective knowledge. It's not objective, that it can be proved in the laboratory. The self and the body are different. You have to feel. How can you feel? Have faith in the words of the scriptures. The scriptures, those experiences of the aptas, A-P-T-A, apta. Apta means realized souls. After reaching over there, realizing that knowledge, then they say it is true. The self is completely different. And it goes away from one individual and it goes and carries all the impressions of the mind and goes to another body. It's going on traveling like this. So naturally, this is the answer you have to believe. And then he said, in question to another, the self-realization, how it is possible. Now, how to realize? I am believing in the words of Guru, the respected, the venerable people, and also in the scripture, the realized souls, the experience of the realized souls. But how I can realize it? Then Sri Ramakrishna, he is telling in his own way the age-old instructions of tapasya, austerity. And this was recorded in the Bhagavad Gita in the 17th chapter and 3 slokas, 14, 15, 16. He said, longing for the realization of the self. The 4 things he said. First, longing for the realization of the self. That is the first thing. Otherwise it is impossible. If there is no longing, no desire, how can you think that you will achieve it? Then second, strive to attain God. You have to, those who are trying with whole body, then with whole mind. And then he said, with your words also. So kaik, then manasik and bachik. Kaik, physical, manasik, mental, bachik. This is also tapasya. Just words. I was hearing from some of the devotees that in an apartment, the ladies, they are there, they're free. So they are free, so obviously they are going away. So all their husbands are going away to their offices, then what they will do? They gossip, and in the time of gossiping, they're almost torturing another lady. Some of them were very gentle, courteous. And it so happened, every day they will be talking in such a way, because sometimes a soft target, there's fun for them, it's a pastime. But that lady lost his mental balance, had to go back to his country, to our country. So it's a sin those ladies they have committed, but they don't understand this. So that is the way they say you have to be very, very careful. In the 17th chapter we find, in the Bhagavad Gita it says, 14, 15 and 16, first is Deva, Dvija, Guru, Pragya, Pujanam, Shaucham, Arjavam, Brahmacharya, Ahimsa cha, Shariram tapa ujjate. Friends, if we read any scripture, all the time they say what is God, what is Brahman, what is Allah, what is Jehovah, qualities, best qualities, very good qualities. And what are those qualities? Can you achieve that, acquire that in the body, physical body? No. It comes in intellect, in the mind, in our consciousness. If only we can understand this, the whole scenario will change. In the name of religion, so many things are going on, happening for thousands and thousands of years. Why? Misunderstanding. The human being cannot survive without religion. It is the relation like a water and the fish. But at the same time, the human being do not develop the self-discriminative faculty which is already there in them. So what are the qualities that the Bhagavad Gita is telling? The Hindus are so fond of. Now almost all the literal world, they are appreciating the Bhagavad Gita. In so many languages it has been translated. Why? Because the human being, particularly those who are sensitive, they understood that these are the teachings that I must have to understand and develop. What? First is, you have to worship pujanam. Why they have used the word pujanam? Respect, they didn't say worship. In translation they said worship. Because showing not only respect but love too. The love and respect combined together becomes pujanam, puja. I not only respect you, but I worship you. When they say that I worship you, what does it mean? Respect plus love. These pujanam, whom? Of gods. God means those beings which are doing something good. These are gods. And then the twice born. That means the most of the people, they're born for once. And second, those who have developed their culture, they're twice born. The human being is born, but afterwards they get the training. And when they're getting the training slowly, they're becoming cultured. And the best type of training, you must love all. You must try to help others, feel for others, pray for others. they are going on. And then it is not the first birth as they were born, it is not that, completely changed. Divija. The second, that's why so much of respect in the human society, those who are cultured and educated. And their contribution to the society, human society, give them all respect. What are the awards for? All these awards only to encourage us that. So this way they say, the twice born. And third, then it says, Guru. That means the venerable persons, those who are removing your darkness. So first, father and the mother. Second, the teachers. Third, the spiritual teacher. Removing all the darknesses. Wise person. These are we are going and learning from them, the wise person. Then also you have to develop purity. And we can understand the purity as love without boundary and unselfishness, pure unselfishness. So these two things is called purity, that also we have to straightforwardness. Very simple, very straightforward, and speaks very straight way. No roundabout and saying something, meaning something, not like that. Straightforwardness, behavior, and then celibacy, non-injury, at the physical austerity. So that is what Sri Ramakrishna mentioned, the kaik tapasya, strive to attain God with all his body. This kaik tapasya. This is physically. What is the physically? Because you are going out to learn and serve. And then you are developing, acquiring some of the good qualities like the purity, straightforward behavior, celibacy and non-injury. Then anudbega karam bhakyam. The second comes bangmaya tapa. So much importance has been given in using the words. What type of words we use? And sometimes when you listen to the English cinema, they're using all the time filthy words, constantly, each and every one. Without all that, it's nothing. Very wrong. Very wrong if we are doing like that. Anudbega karam bhakyam. Udbega. Udbega means the causes pain. When you are speaking in such a way that creates the udbega, the pain in the mind of a person, that's called udbega, anudbega karam bhakyam. Not only that, satyam, which is true, agreeable and verily beneficial, priyam and hitam. Priyam, agreeable, they like it, and also hitam, beneficial, when you speak in that way, beneficial. Satyam, priyam, hitam jayat. Swadhyaya, abhyasanam jaiva. See, in every tapasya, in every austerity and all these practices, there are two, we can say, the differences are there. One, that you are going and learning and doing that, at the same time developing your own characteristics also, the qualities also. How? Swadhyaya, abhyasanam jaiva. Now, we are speaking in such a way that people are liking it. It is becoming helpful to them. And we are telling the truth in a very nice way. So it is beneficial to them. But how you can do that? You can just cannot make in such a way so that people will simply go on. Some people, they will talk in such a way, people will laugh, and that is a recreation for them. No, that is not the beneficial thing. That you have to speak in such a way that the people, that will be beneficial. How you will know that? So you have to practice that. How? You have to study the scriptures. Swadhyaya. The Swadhyaya, with the reverence, with the respect, with the love, with the longing to learn, you have to study the scripture. There are so many different type of books are there. All are not scriptures. Informative books are there, majority of them. Scriptures are those which will give you upliftment in your spiritual life. So the general life is there, human life that we see all over. At the same time, there is a spiritual life. And in that spiritual life, we always feel that we do not understand. And hence we are afraid. Since we are afraid because of the unknown thing is going to happen to me, immediately we try to get the help of others. So we go to those people who can tell the fortunes, or those people who will be telling this and that. What about them? We don't understand. One king, so he was believing in all the words that the people used to come and tell, and in the form of a fortune teller. They will come and say, "Oh, king, if this will happen, that will happen." So a fortune teller came, and he was telling, "King, you are going to be killed in the war. So don't do that." And king told, "Is it? Oh my God, what will happen?" Now in those days it was almost a regular thing for the small kingdoms, the other kings are coming and... So this king, he lost almost 50% confidence. There was a very intelligent minister. The kings are successful because of the good ministers. If they fail to choose the good ministers, they cannot be successful. And this minister told, "What happened to you?" He said that I am going to die within a day or two if I go to the war. What will happen? This is it. Who told? This gentleman told. Then he said, "Can you see the future?" "Oh yes, I can." "Can you say when you are going to die? You are going to die?" I can. I think it is many, many years I will live." He took out the sword and cut his head and said, "See, he doesn't know his own future. I was going to kill him right this moment. He was not knowing his future. How can you say his future? Don't bother about the future. What will happen, happen." And our duty we should do. That is called scripture. And this way, Swadhyaya Abhyasanam Jaiva. The more you read about the scripture, more you understand it properly, and more you are pondering over it, all the truth, the revelation will come. That's why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, you should go and listen to the holy people, then return and be alone. Go on pondering over that, then take the decision, meditation. Sravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. These are the 3 steps of the Vedanta. Sravana, you have to listen. And not that immediately you listen and then react. No, don't react. Majority of the people, whatever they will learn, whatever they will hear, immediately they are reacting. That's why the present day world is full of false thing. Somebody will write in such a way, and then he will send it to 10 people to 100 people, 100 people to 1,000, and everybody is so excited. When you go to the root, there is nothing. And what is all these people? They were going on in a clique and reaching out to the 1,000 people? Fools. Not only that, they are sinners. Because they are not only making the mistake, they are also encouraging others to make the mistake. No. The one should be immediately, the one lady sent me, this is the information, Swamiji, very exciting. I told, oh, this is very encouraging, very enlightening. But what is the source? She has not come back again. I'm waiting for next. She will never be able to. Because somebody just thought of and they wrote. This is very wrong. So, anudvegakaram bhakyam, we should not speak. Friends, not that. I don't bother about the God. You need not to bother about God, but bother about yourself. Because if you are doing like this, in the next life, you have to suffer. Don't blame others. Because of the work that you are doing, the actions that you are taking, for that you will have to suffer. And through the words, anudbegakaram vakyam, you should not. Not only that, what type of vakya, what type of words you should say? Satyam, which is truth. And how you will present the truth? Priyam and hitam. In such a way that he will like, he will appreciate. And those words are going to help that person. And how it is possible to constantly control your senses? Swadhyaya. That's why they always say before going to bed, please read 1 or 2 pages of Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna and then go to bed. So that will be good. So if you are reading the book and then going to bed, that will be in your subconscious mind, that will come and that will go deep and deep. You will understand, oh, this is the way. And finally it says, Mana prasada samyaktam, maunam, atma, vinigraha, bhava samsuddhi iti etat, tapo manasamuchyate. Physical, mental, and through the speech. The moment we think about the physical tapasya, not eating, walking barefoot, walking on fire, and carrying the load for a long time and then pouring little water to the god. So many things physically we do. But we don't read Bhagavad Gita. So what is the physical? And then we are going to do the tapasya, where? In a secluded place where I don't like to see the face. It's okay. But what about this? Tranquility of the mind. That is the manasik tapasya. Manasa tapasya, tranquility of the mind. Constantly. Whatever is happening, this is going to pass. The joy and happiness, okay, is good, but it is also temporary. Is also go away. And some people sometimes very successful in the games. Nowadays the world football games are good. Some players are very successful. In the next then World Cup, they will be out. Another group of people will come. And then they'll be in jealousy, in our time. Why? Whatever my time, I have showed, but okay. Next thing, other people are coming, okay. Good singers, good actors, good players, and successful the politicians. That should be like this. In my time, whatever my capacity, judgment, I've tried to do good, and I take my hands off from those. Next generation comes, if they are good, very good. If they can't, what to do? It will be like this only. The girl always go like that. Tranquility. Before my birth, this world was there. After my death, this world will be there. Who has given all the responsibility of the whole world on your head? Why should I have to suffer? The one lady, she was talking with me. I cannot sleep, Swamiji. I am thinking what will happen to my father. He has become so elderly. The mother, almost all the time sick. What will happen to me? And going on. And suppose you are thinking and not sleeping in the night, are they becoming all right? No. Then what is happening? I am becoming weak. And then she is becoming weak and she cannot now get up in the morning and cannot go. Even she is going for the job. That there also she is dozing off and all that. So that you think and say to yourself, I am sincere. And I will try to help my elderly parents as best as possible. But that much I can do. No one can help. No one can save. All things will go in his own way. Tranquility of the mind. Then gentleness. All the time controlling the anger, the passion, all those things are constantly irritating us, constantly. But you have to control. Otherwise it cannot be successful. The gentleness, this is also wonderful. Then comes silence. Why silence? Because when you can stop your tongue, we are going on talking, and each and everyone, particularly Indians, in everything they have their own opinions. Ask for anything, right from the food up to the world, the management, everything they have the experiences and the words. The people will come and tell so many things, but if you ask them, are you successful anywhere in your life? Majority of them are not. But if you are not, then how come that you are thinking that your advices will be helpful for others? Can you not stop? They can't. So that way it is terrible. So that gentleness and silence is necessary. What I am doing, is it correct? Is it good? And go for the penance. They say the goddess Kali is biting her tongue. That shows you have to control your tongue. Not only food, but also the words. You just comment in such a way, and that creates a lot of problem, and two families they break only just for one comment. And they say, I was just telling it jokingly, but how I will know that you were telling it jokingly? So that's why the silence, this is very essential. Then complete control of the mind. Atma, be nigraha. Not only nigraha, be nigraha. Complete control of the mind. And absence of trickery while dealing with others. And that is called bhava samsuddhi, the great word. It's a great word. And spiritual life means bhava samsuddhi. Bhava means your thought. That must be pure. And no, nothing wrong is there. I am telling something, but I am thinking completely in another way. Who is going to suffer? I. So that's why, friends, we have come over here, we are all the time reading the books and taking initiation, trying to be spiritual. And what are all these? These are the qualities we have to. So Sri Ramakrishna said, for the realization of the self, these are the three things you must have to understand and practice. Then you find that another master Masha, the recorder, he is describing in Sri Ramakrishna had rested on his bed only a few minutes, 430 page, when Hari, Narayan, Narendra Banerjee and other devotees arrived from Calcutta. Master Masha mentioned for a few minutes. Just before that, he was talking the pastoral duties he used to do, what the Swamis will do, what the holy people will do. Whoever comes, they naturally guide them, try to inspire them for good life, holy life, spiritual life. How? Following these good qualities. And after that, naturally the human body, even the God becomes tired. So Sri Ramakrishna, he was resting only for a little, and immediately all these people came. And in our country there is nothing like that. Who knows, he is in a separate apartment and people have to wait, and they, according to time he will come. It was not like that. They all came into his, only one room was there, whether you call it bedroom and whatever, only one room. Still it is there in Dakshineshwar. So they used to come straight inside the room, and when he is sleeping, how can he sleep? So he got up and he started talking with the people. And Sri Ramakrishna was telling, Narayan was a schoolboy, 16, 17 years old. He often visited the master, who was very fond of him. Why the young people Master Ramakrishna used to like? All of us we like. Why? Because the spiritual life. If you start from the beginning, before your mind is scattered, then only it will be beneficial for you. But when the people come, Okay, that's good, nothing wrong. There's a wrong conception. Maybe there's a long life they expect. After 80, go to the church, mandir. Before that, you don't need. No, it's wrong. That time is of no use. You can go as a practice. Of course, this is at least good. But when you go in the young age, inquiry is there. And you are open, so you can understand things. Try to understand things. Try to practice. You need the body and the mind together, strong. So that's Ramakrishna is to like. Hari lived with his brother at the Bajar, and that way the explanation, this Master Moshe is writing. And now let us read from here. Master to the devotees. I have heard a great deal about Buddha. Sri Ramakrishna, they say he was completely illiterate. He never attended any school, forget about getting any certificate. But he learned many things. Because that is the wiseness. And that wiseness, he said, I heard a great deal about Buddha. He is one of the 10 incarnations of God. In Hindus, that traditional incarnation, the Buddha is there. Brahman is immovable, immutable, inactive, and of the nature of consciousness. What is Brahman? Consciousness. When a man merges his buddhi, now this is Sri Ramakrishna. He is talking about Lord Buddha. That he realized what? After that he was a Gautama. The Gautama became Buddha. And what is this Buddha? He is telling that actually this Brahman, which is immutable, he never moves, but he is the nature of consciousness. When a man merges his own consciousness, which is known as buddhi, his intelligence in bodha, that consciousnness, then he attains the knowledge of Brahman and he becomes Buddha. In 2-3 lines, the wonderful explanation about the Buddha. Who is Buddha? Who actually could put his own intellect merge with the total intellect. That is called consciousness. And individual intellect, buddhi. That is merging called Buddha. The aspirant does not attain the knowledge of Brahman as long as he is conscious about his ego. What is that ego? I. As long as the I is there, we can never understand this. The ego comes under one's control after one has obtained the knowledge of Brahman and seen God. Look at it. As long as the ego is there, you cannot understand Brahman. And when you understand Brahman, then only ego will go. So we are in such a trap. When we realize the Brahman, there is no ego. And why we will try to realize Brahman if you don't have the ego? Because when there is no ego, we are automatically, naturally realizing the Brahman. So then a beautiful sloka, it says, when we have realized the God, why should you search for God? And if you have not realized God, what is the use of searching Him? So this way, they always say, but here he is telling that means we have to strive. And then when we reach to that, then complete ego will go. Otherwise, in a very latent way, subtle way, the ego lives. And that is the greatest hindrance for spiritual life. The great Swamis, the great monks, the spiritual aspirants, they go up, and suddenly when they are going on practicing naturally, the many good things started happening and people are attracted and they started surrounding him and some people will be there. No, this is our master, you should not go near, you should not touch him, you should not do this. And that person, he was not wanting in the beginning. Then slowly, he becomes accustomed with that. And the people will be there, hey, move, the holy person is coming, and this and that. And then they will go on talking about him, he has so many miraculous power. And that man start thinking, yes, I am having the miraculous power. No, the Swami, when he looked at me, I was tormenting, just he looked, and that calmness come into my mind, he will tell his friends. The friends will also go. Nothing happened, but something you have to tell. So he goes back, he also fabricates some stories, and he says, and in the meantime, this man is floating, and ultimately he only floats without anything. And that is the main hindrance. That's why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, when people used to come to him and praising just like that, he used to get up and say, you better go out from here. He won't listen to that. Don't say like that. What is there in this body? Nothing. Talk about God. But the original people, the seekers who would come, he will like them. Some people unnecessarily they will come and they will go on talking like that, and afterwards, oh, nothing. So this type of people, the spiritual aspirants should try to avoid. So that is why Sri Ramakrishna is telling, otherwise the ego cannot be controlled. It is difficult to catch one's own shadow. The ego is just like our shadow. You cannot just say, no, go away. But when the sun is overhead, the shadow is within a few inches of the body. Look at this, how the example. When the sun is there overhead, that shadow means ego becomes very little. So the more and more consciously you are going towards God and consciously controlling your own ego, then ultimately when you go to that near to God, what happens? The very less ego, little shadow only. And then when you realize as you become the sun yourself, there is no shadow. That is exactly what he says. A devotee, what is the vision of God like? It's a very interesting question. What is the vision of God? Now sometimes we feel like God will be like this. Sri Ramakrishna immediately is telling, haven't you seen a theatrical performance? The people are engaged in conversation when suddenly the curtain goes up. Then the entire mind of the audience is directed toward the play. The people don't look at other things any longer. Samadhi is to go within oneself like that. When the curtain is rung down, people look around again. Just so, when the curtain of Maya falls, the mind again becomes externalized. How best one can understand this way? Thing. When we realize the God, what happens? In one go, whole mind is concentrated. And we forget all around us, we forget ourselves, whole mind goes to God. And that is God realization. And when the curtain comes down once again, you cannot remain like that all the time. So obviously it is coming down, and when it comes down again, the Maya is slowly pouncing on you, again separating you, and again you try, again the curtain will go up. That is the way one goes. And when this happened, Sri Ramakrishna, those who have read the biography of Sri Ramakrishna, you know, she was going on crying to Mother, Mother, I have seen you, that's true, but I want to see you all the time. You should not leave me even for a moment. He was going on praying. Like a child constantly crying to Mother, I like to be with you, like to be with you. Like that, then the mother came and told, you be in Bhava Mukha. What's that Bhava Mukha? You are in this world, but at the same time, any moment you like, you can cross and come to the spiritual world. And that is why Sri Ramakrishna, about whom Swami Vivekananda said, Avatara Bharishtaya. He is the greatest among these. Why? Because this is a very special feature in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. So that we find the Master is telling to Narendra Banerjee. He told that immediately the people cannot go on listening to very high thought and speech continuously. So Sri Ramakrishna immediately he saw the gentleman and said, you have travelled a great deal. Tell us something about the sadhus. In those days people used to go, nowadays also, not many people will be going to the different places. But the Indian people, mostly they go to the places where sanctified by something. So the tourism is based always on the pilgrim centers. Some good places are there, natural places, but pilgrim center should be there. Then only you get the crowd. The tourists, they will go, Indian tourists. Only to see the hills or the this and that little bit. But they go. So this gentleman went out and then he came back and he was telling. Narendra told the story of two yogi in Bhutan who used to drink daily a pound of bitter juice of neem leaves. This is something not very normal. So he remembered that. He was reporting to that. Then the Master is telling, one should keep the pictures of holy men in one's room that constantly quickens the divine ideas. This is a great suggestion the devotees should remember. That if you are keeping the holy people's picture in different places, suppose you are going out, you see that gods, then you pray, I am going out, bless me so that I am successful, you are going out. You come, immediately you see in another wall, another picture, I am in, now I have come back from my work. That way, as if in the company of God all the time. So one should do that. Then the Master is, it is true that one's spiritual feelings are awakened by looking at the picture of sadhu. It is like being reminded of the custard apple by looking at the imitation one. Therefore I tell you that you should constantly live in the company of holy men. How it is possible? Then you have to hire some holy man and take him to your office and you have to separate. No, it is not like that. In the company of holy men means what? Of course, there is lot many holy men are there to give you company in your office too. If you give them good pranamis, there is no problem. But that won't help. Why Sri Ramakrishna mentioned like this? Carry a book. That's all. Carry a small booklet, and then whenever you are free, just go through few pages. What will happen? Your mind will immediately come back and go to that conversation. So that is the reason, that is the way you are constantly getting the holy company. It doesn't mean the physical, but intellectual, and those thoughts will completely be in your mind. One finds peace of mind in the company of holy men. Then the actor, the gentleman is telling, God is Kalpataru, the wish-fulfilling tree. A man gets whatever he asks of God. Suppose it comes to his mind, God is Kalpataru, wish-fulfilling tree. Well, let me see if a tiger will appear before me. Now it so really happened that because he thinks of the tiger, it really appears and attacks the man. So that's why God is very good, but one should be careful what you are praying. You know, in English stories there, one person was very prayerful, he was going on praying to God, the God then appeared, well, I am very happy with you, what do you want? I want that, whatever I will touch, immediately becomes gold. So God told, be careful what you are asking. Are you sure about it? Yes, yes, yes. Whatever I will touch, that should be gold. What happened? You know, all of us, we know that. Whatever he is touching becoming gold. Even his food is becoming gold. He cannot eat the food. And very pathetic way the story ends, when his beloved daughter came running and he forgot it's not a boon, it is a curse that he was having in both the hands. He touched his own daughter, immediately she became gold. And that is a pathetic end of the story. So we must be very careful what we are praying to God. So Sri Ramakrishna is telling, yes, you must remember that the tiger comes. What more shall I tell you? Now this is a wonderful way he is teaching. Keep your mind on God. Don't forget Him. God will certainly reveal Himself to you if you pray to Him with all sincerity. Another thing, sing the name of God at the end of each performance. He's a performer, so he was telling, after that, end with a beautiful song. So the people who have come, when they are going back, they will carry within their heart a very good thought. So the movie makers and the storytellers or the writers, they should remember what they are actually contributing. Whether all those things, the trashes, if they are giving and become the best selling, and they get the interview, what my uncle did this to me when I was very young, and these and that, people are jumping on that, they are purchasing that book and then purchasing and gifting to the friends. What do they read? What idea comes? Or nasty things. And that we think we are great writers. Just because the power in the language, I can express myself in that language, but then like that. Why? So that is why one should understand, God has given me the intellect. God has given me the power to express that. I should do that in such a way that will be beneficial to the people. Whatever the things that you like to express. But then conclude in such a way, represent it in such a way that is becoming beneficial to the people. Otherwise, you are contributing into all the bad things without knowing. The Sri Ramakrishna is telling like that, and then the two ladies came and Sri Ramakrishna told, worship Shiva, that will help you. Then afterwards, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon and some people came. Master was sitting. If you have visited the Dakshineshwar, there are 12 Shiva temples are there. He was sitting on the stairs of that Shiva temple. The one side 6, another side 6. Usually he used to sit very near to his room. He was sitting. These people came. They are very close people. And the other, then Dr. Nitai, M means Master Maharshal, very close. The Sri Ramakrishna was telling, I want to tell you something. You are my close. Nowadays, I don't see the spirit form of God. Spirit form of God means God in form. He is revealed to me in human form. Nowadays, I see that He is in human form. You have assumed a body, therefore enjoy God through His human form. So, the spirit form came and told Sri Ramakrishna, now your human body, you must show the God. That is, God no doubt dwells in all, but He manifests Himself more through man than through other beings. Is man an insignificant thing? He can think of God, he can think of the infinite, while other living beings cannot. God exists in other living beings, animal, plants, in all beings, but He manifests Himself more through man than through all these. Fire exists in all beings, in all things, but its presence is felt more in wood. Rama said to Lakshmana, Look at the elephant, brother. He's such a big animal, but he cannot think of God. So how? This is the beauty of the Hinduism. So we are the being, we are the people who are so lucky that we have got this human form, human being, the life as a human. And we are destroying just like animals, food, drinks and merrymaking. No other things. Just a few lines reading in the poetry and singing the guitar, that's all. So we have to understand these, we have to develop. A group of TT players came today to visit. They're elderly people, but previously they were all TT players. Now, of their own age group, the different countries they go and they play. So they came here, I think, somewhere, and then they were visiting today here. They're from Pune. So I was talking with them about the God, and I was telling what is our work over here. Because they know Ramakrishna Mission, whether you have the school or the college. Ramakrishna Mission having so many school, colleges, hospitals and dispensaries. I don't know. Here our the work is to go to people, to invite people and talk to them, or we reach out, go to people, tell them that they're divine. We like to manifest the divinity within us. At the same time, we go and tell them that this is where does God live. Now, the Bible, the John, it says, abide in me and I in you. Where does God live? Christ says, God live within me. Abide in me and that I in you. And in the Bhagavad Gita, yo mam pashyanti sarvatra, sarvam cha mai pashyati, tasyaham na pranashyati, etc. He who is seeing God in every being, that's what Ramakrishna is telling. I used to see God in spirit form, now I see God in human form. It's a great revelation. And then the Veda it says, Amritasya putraha. You're the descendants of the Amrit, eternal being. And we are forgetting that. And Sufi, that saint also says, Jo kuch hai, so tu hi hai. In Islam, in the traditional Islam, it says, He is everywhere. He is in your heart. God is where goodness exists. Look at it. Only if we understand this, only if we read it and then realize it, where is God? Everywhere. But God is where goodness is. Sri Ramakrishna said God is everywhere. At the same time, it is within the heart of the human being. The conditions to have God within, what is that? It says first faith. The God is there. Second, holding the truth, because God is the truth. And third, practicing love. The practicing love means whomever I see, whatever I hear about, if suppose I am a mother, when I see that my son is doing something wrong, I feel bad. And similarly, if I see the other young people are doing wrong thing, oh, they don't belong to us, let them die, go to hell. Not like that. I feel for them, I pray for them. So practicing love. Wherever there is some shortfalls, we pray for that. Advaita Vedanta occurs, they say, Brahman, when you look through Maya, is God, Ishvara. So that is a different philosophy. And where he is living, it is no circumstances. The God, there is, Swami Vivekananda said, it is no circumference, but the center everywhere. You cannot limit God, but He is everywhere. And what is the Jiva? According to Vivekananda, he says, there is a circumference, But there is no circumference. But for the jiva, there is a center in one point. That is the particular soul. So no circumference, but the center everywhere is God. And no circumference, unlimited, but it has a center that is just now this me, that is God. Hinduism, they think the part of the whole theory. Universe is the whole and human being is the part. You know that then they are giving nicely as they say, in our body, in the human body, 1 billion cells are there. Now, suppose we like to explain, each cell belongs to the whole body. And now whole body means 1 billion cells. So it is part and the whole. The human being is part of that God, and the combination of all is that God again. So it goes like that. And in the Rig Veda we find Prajnanam Brahma. That is the Mahavakyas, Prajnanam Brahma. The consciousness, the wisdom is Brahman. In the Yajur Veda it says, Aham Brahmasmi. I am that Brahman, the part and the whole. And then finally, the Sama Veda says, Tattvamasi. You also are that. You are also God. And Atharva Veda says, Ayam Atma Brahma. This self, which is individual self, is also that infinite self. God lives in me and I live in God. So where God does live? In me. And I also live in God. So when the people are asking, where can I see God? There's a funny story. They say, the God created this universe and then He created all the beings. He created the human being also. Then He became afraid. Human being is so intelligent, He will surely find it where I am hiding. So He will come and find me. Then He was talking with other people, what to do? Where can I hide myself? Otherwise they will surely come and find me. Then someone told, it is better that you hide inside the heart of the human being. They will never search over there. They will go to search you everywhere, not within the heart, his own heart. So, jo kuch hai so tu hi hai. Whatever we see is nothing but that God. And I was searching you here and there outside. In the Rabindranath, in his poem, it says that it is within the heart that I never searched. So if we look at our heart, we find that there is unselfishness and there is love. That unselfishness is nothing but the symbol of the divinity. Only thing, it has become very, very small. We have to increase it. The manifestation of the divinity means what? Manifestation of the love without boundary. I love each and every one. Then one day I can say, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And that is what is God realization. God lives everywhere, but at the same time in the heart of human being. Thank you very much. Now let us chant this mantra. Niranjanam Nityam Anantarupam Bhaktanukampa Dhrita Vikraham Vai Ishavattaram Parameshamidyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tatsat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Friends, devotees, you know that the third retreat is coming in July. So please go to our website and you'll find all details. And I would request you, come attend that retreat. Whatever we discuss and we learn, but staying together in that holy place is more beneficial. The July retreat at the end of this July, so please come and register yourself. Sometimes some people, they come over there and then they register. It's good. But you know, if you can decide and register in the beginning itself, it gives us, our volunteers particularly, they can understand how many people is going to eat. Then accordingly they will purchase the provisions, cook and all. Because ours is whatever money you give, we like to save. Because with that money, the whole year we have to, but repairing and maintenance of that Ganges complex. And naturally the devotees, they give, donate all the provisions. And the devotees, particularly our lady devotees, they go and cook for the whole 3-4 days. So if you register online a little early, we can give the list to them. They understand how much we should cook and how many rooms we should keep ready, all this. You know, they clean the bathrooms also. They keep everything neat and tidy when you go, and you just go over there inside the room and you see each and everything is neat and tidy. Behind that, as so many people worked. Our young devotees, they will go, they're all working. They will go in the Saturday, whole day they will clean the whole thing and then they will come. This way it goes. Not that we hire from outside and we are paying them, not like that. Why the devotees are doing like that? So that they can help the ashrama to save some money. So that is the way. Thank you very much for coming over here, and I'll be happy to see you in the retreat also.